Chapter 3. The Shark Goes to Sea. My jolly step lively with both cask and drum. Only water, salt bacon, hard biscuits and rum. First mate Joe's on the ground barking out orders. Cap, he roars, 3 bells. Then it's up to his quarters. At home we spent packing those wee morning hours. Aunt Harmy said something about missing her flowers. But Willum said where we was going was mild. Roses and lilacs and poppies grow wild. The ship was called a brigantine, a square-rigged craft. 24 guns, 100 crew, well manned fore and aft. Named after brigands of the Med, pirate ghost ships it was said. So very swift and able, talk of them was commonplace round every tavern table. Our ship was named the Elusive Shark, a sleek 2-masted brig. She handled very well in heavy seas. 12 oars as well, square-rigged. Her crew was just a tad bit light, but Cap had already made that right. They'd shanghaied 20 in the night, all from a venerable pig. Aunt Harmy hummed an old-time tune she barely could remember before her pa was swept to sea that long ago September. Great Uncle Willum stood at the water's edge with dinghy and 3 men, put our cases on a ledge and bade us boys get in. When Willum saw how Auntie dressed, he shook his head and whistled. You should wear trousers like the rest. Aunt Harmy fairly bristled, but they lifted Harmy in the craft, and other 3 were laughing. We boys were filled with giddy glee and wild anticipation. Chattering on like monkeys, Aunt Harmy looked like misery, thinking thoughts about those 3 without communication. In the darkness of that morn, helping Harmy over the railing, said Uncle Willum, boys, come aboard. Ye hearties, take your stations. So this fine ship would be our home. We'd seen her in the harbor, lying out with sails all drawn, but now she looked much larger. The decks were wet with salt spray, cold. Walking wasn't easy. 3 steps and then a rope to hold, and I felt my stomach queasy. Cap took Lime's trunk in one hand, grabbed Line with the other. You'd be better off as separate bunks. Joe, take Morgan to his quarters. So here we were, split up so quick, not even walking steady. Maybe Captain wants us to grow. I don't think Lime is ready. My bunk was small, cramped and all, but so were all the others. I guess that on a ship like this, you're expected to be brothers. Up on the deck, more sure this time to gain a bit more balance, I went exploring to find Lime, and though it was dark, I did just fine. In fact, enjoyed the challenge. Morgan, do you wish you were home? He asked. He looked a wee bit scared. Lime, it's only been a minute's past. No, I scolded. But there beneath, I shared. Meanwhile, on deck, not daylight yet, men were in a flurry. Oarsmen, straining, wet with sweat, reached 2 knots in a hurry. Then sails unfurled, and in the wind, the Shark streaked like a missile. The sky was bright with morning light before we heard that whistle. We covered nearly a quarter league before that first horn sounded. We didn't know folks was standing there on the shore dumbfounded. We thought they'd come to see us off on our adventure to Cadiz. So we waved back and yelled a bit, though Lime was green with sickness. 2 hours later, give and take, Willum says to Joe, bring 'em up, 3 or 4 at a time, make it nice and slow. Aye, Captain, sir. Joe wheeled round and opened up the brig, brought up Warren, Chris, and Klein, men shanghaied from the pig. Chapter 4. Willum gets an earful. Now, men, to meet this way is a shame, but I've got no time for playing games. I've been commissioned and under orders to protect the Mediterranean's borders. We fly whatever colors suit us. We shoot first before they shoot us. Mostly Muslim corsair crews, some privateers from England too. Our creed is simple: join or die. No escaping, don't even try. We'll fit you out with gun and sword, treat you right. You have my word. You're nothing but a privateer, said Klein. With 4 kids and that wife of mine, how can I expect to ever leave? Or will they simply sit and grieve? Yeah, why not ask for volunteers? You shanghaied us and brought us here. Warren, too, he shook his head, squinted eyes at Cap, and then he said, not right, grabbing all us boys last night. And you? I hear your name is Chris. What's your feeling about all this? Well, you haven't, Chris mused. Give us all the facts of duty. Do we earn wages? Get shore leave? Do we share in booty? Ha! A thinking man, Cap cried. Not a slave. You have your pride. Of course. The term, 3-year indenture, and then it's home. A paid adventure. Aunt Harmy saw what was going on and all the horror of it. Willum, turn this boat around, she screamed. You and your gang of misfits. These men are simple fishermen with families to support. You have no right to steal them just to make them devil sport. Ah, but I do, dear lady, niece of mine, direct from courts of Spain. And it will be a year or 5 before they see home again. And as for you, and you're young too, I expect you'll have some stories to share in that small inn of yours when back in Porto Torres. And so, all afternoon they came up from down below, in 3s or 4s, maybe a score or more. I can't really say I know. Cap Willum made them all take vows or get fed to the fishes, and they all took 'em, even though I know 'twas against their wishes. That evening Cap took us aside and gave us each our chores. Lime was charged, along with Molly, keeping tally on daily stores. Cap made him Seaman Jack Dusty, 4th class, in charge of rations. Me brother Lime, he nearly beamed at this his new important station. You'll have fellers screaming at you, son. They'll ask for 2, you give 'em 1. They'll ask for more, you give 'em less. You're the boss. Just do your best. You and Mally keep the boys in tow. If they push too hard, get rough, just run, report to Joe. Aunt Harmy was to bandage wounds, bend the sick as well she could. He told her, too, that she helped cook to make the food taste good. I've had the cuddy fitted out to give you private quarters. No one will bother you in there. These men are under orders. Aunt Harmy glared full hard at him and smarted at his tone. Willum, my pa will get an earful when we get to where we're going. I'll swab your decks, I'll peel your spuds and mend your sweaty rabble, but because I live by Christian values, not because you babble. Morgan, Willum swung around, embarrassed by his niece. But Harmy wasn't through with him. Her volume just increased. At eventide, we'll join in prayer, complete with scripture reading, and Friday nights of the men will bathe. Cap looked down at me, pleading. Morgan, I have a job for you, he groaned beneath his breath. His shoulders told of misery. His eyes were screaming, death. Morgan, I'm putting you with Snell. He'll teach you how to sail, every bulkhead, mast, and rigging, every backstay, bight, and bell. Pay close attention, every word, how and why, what just occurred. Snell's a very patient man. He'll teach you more than others can, and you'll be right able to sail the Shark by the time we disembark. He half turned to view Aunt Harmy one last time. To think that she's a kin of mine. Aw, Cap, she's just not used to taking orders. But, head in hand, Cap was halfway to his quarters. Chapter 5. Teacher Snell. The following morning I met the man. Wiry, long, lean, sculptured face, chiseled nose, eyes were deep set, keen. Everywhere we went, we ran like we were in a race. Though I was 3 times younger, I struggled at his pace. Come, boy, he said, we've things to learn. Watch and listen well now. What's that pole called? What's a foremast? Where do I find the bow? If I were to say, grab that lanyard, or Morgan, set the spanker, boy, could you do either? Drill, 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 we spent the morning, and I could use a breather. Seems as though we'd never stop. Up and down the deck, my body ached, my mouth was dry, my shirt was caked with sweat, when of a sudden Snell stopped short, right in front of Lime. Jack Dusty, can you spare a quart for this worn-out pal of mine? Lime, he beamed with sheer delight to be called by his new title. He smugly passed a half-full mug. I suppose you are entitled. I glared at him, but the mug was tin and inside liquid gold. I'd never tasted rum before, but of a sudden I was bold. A daring buccaneer was I, swilling down a brew. I drained the tin, smacked my lips, demanded more, hands on my hips. Jack Dusty just said, no. And so my time those first 2 days was running that way. Running like hell right behind Snell. Uncle Willum sometimes stopped us, asked me things like what a fid was. Old Snell was anchor-bound to reach me. He filled my brain, and I'd say he did teach me. Yeah, and I must say, too, I was at sea to stay. That is, until the very next